Good afternoon. I'm running for president, Matt 2024. That's MAT 2024. Patreon link below. If elected, I promise to make W one syllable. I prefer woo, but we can make an internet poll and choose whatever vowel sound is most popular. Because of idiotic legislation in Alabama, the military may be pulling out of the state. Now, this may sound like hysteria, but Bo of the fifth column made a video about this, and he is a very savvy analyst. Link down below. Um, I suggest you watch any title of his that catches your attention. He has a keen perspective and a broad worldview, and I find him one of the most credible talking heads out there. But let's not focus on Republicans. Let's talk about DERPs, the word that represents the unity Dems, Democrats, and Republicans engage in to keep third parties out of office. Nancy and other Democrats uh, will. Okay, I can't read my own writing. Nancy and other Democrats are. Boy, that's sloppy. Nancy and other Democrats are practicing insider trading. Of course, Republicans can't point this out or take them to task for this as they engage in the same shenanigans. So here's what I would do if I were elected. I'd enact executive orders for any any federal salary to be capped at the American average, which is about $53,458, as opposed to the $174,000 Congress currently gets, more than three times the national average. And I would enact term limits for Congress of two for the House, one for the Senate, to stop Congress folk from and okay and stop Congress folk from making investments, and in terms of that, making investments, investing in the stock market, especially at the very least, any stock that is tied directly or indirectly to any legislation that they voted on. We find them doing this all the time. I would also eliminate the Electoral College, and I would back the dollar with gold, which, if my calculations are correct, the U.S. government holds about $5 trillion worth of gold. I would require all of Congress to take an IQ test and the U.S. citizenship test and share the results. Now, I know none of these would be legal or binding except possibly the fiat currency one, because they would all require constitutional amendments. But these executive orders, while uh, pretty much useless, that's not the word I was looking for, but that'll work. Um, they would draw attention to all of these issues and start discussions and debates. Why do we pay these people so much when many of them don't even work 40 hours a week? Why do we keep electing these lazy bums when, as Madge from Georgia put it, we can't get anything done since we have to start campaigning for the next term as soon as we're elected? Term limits would take care of that. Why do we still have the antiquated Electoral College, which became even more skewed by the Reapportionment Act of 1929, and which gives residents of some states more than three times the voting power of residents of more populated states? And when it comes to that, uh, for example, we've heard Tucker Carlson talk about bringing a bunch of brown people into this country to dilute the vote. And he's fond of saying, I thought it was always one person, one vote. No, it's not, Tucker. And I think you know that, and I think you deliberately do not divulge that information to your listeners because you don't want them to know that. You would rather have them being upset about green M&Ms not being sexy enough. And we're not even talking about the green M&Ms. We're talking about the cartoon of a green M&M. Ugh, that's a kitchen table issue, Tuckums. Well, where was I? Okay, why do we let Congress vote on legislation and then invest in the companies that are affected by that legislation? And exactly what is an executive order and what power does it have? All of these would come into play in future discussions. If I were elected and I just started going nuts with executive orders, and people would be forced to take notice of the issues I was addressing, something that the talking heads on any of the channels, the progressive left, the radical right, any of them, nobody's talking about this stuff. Why? Well, because Hunter's laptop, green M&Ms, ugh, anymore. We are notoriously ignorant of how our country was founded and how our government operated originally and how it operates now. It is said that 2 out of 3 Americans couldn't pass the citizenship test, and I'll bet some of those serve in office. Trump's handlers tried to Trump's handlers tried to familiarize Trump with the Constitution. Uh, this was before the debates, I believe. They tried to get him to read it so they could explain it to him as he goes along. He couldn't even read it. He said it was like written in a foreign language. Wow. Now, the man who, as president, swore an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution couldn't read it. That's what we've become as a nation. I think I'd add an executive order. Any elected or appointed to federal office has to be able to read the Constitution and explain it to a sixth grader. I mean, come on. How can you swear to uphold something if you don't even know what's in there? Well, much more to come. Vote for me, or vote LP, or vote third party. Don't hold your nose and vote for the lesser of two evils. Expand democracy in the least democratic democracy in the world. That is us. And learn to prep. The government will not be there to help you if TSHTF. And we've seen that in Texas. I mean, Cancun cruise. Hey, it's getting cold down here. Might be time to skedaddle. Oh, my constituents need stuff? They'll figure it out. All right. Thanks for watching. And if you didn't watch, well, what's wrong with you, man? All right. Talk to you later.